Welcome back to Urban Legend Hunter. This story was sent in by two hikers from Clay County, West Virginia, a couple named Aaron and Lily. And what happened to them is something that still gets talked about online. So this happened in late September, the time of the year when the Appalachian sky turns copper in the evenings and the woods get that cold, metallic smell before the fall fully arrives. Aaron and Lily had planned a simple hike, just a 3-mile hike, nothing intense. The first part of their hike was normal. Quiet woods, a breeze, distant birds. But the second mile, something started to feel different. Aaron said the first sign was a fallen birch tree. He noticed it because it stretched across the trail. They stepped over it and kept going. But 5 minutes later, there it was again. The same crack through the middle, the same moss line, the same angle. He assumed he was mistaken. That was until they saw it a third time. Now the trail was supposed to loop, not backtrack, and definitely not repeat. Lily checked her GPS and it showed the trail, but they weren't moving. Their little dot just hovered. They kept walking anyway, because what else do you do when you're already in the middle of the woods? About 15 minutes later, they come to this fork, except that trail they were hiking didn't have any forks. Locals know this, and maps confirm this. This fork was new. Both paths look identical, so they picked the left one, and after 10 minutes, they passed a rotted fence post with a rusty nail sticking out. 10 more minutes, the exact same fence post. Now at this point, they were fully panicking, but they didn't want to admit it to each other just yet. When the trail finally dropped into a small clearing, Aaron felt his stomach sink. There, in the center of the clearing, was the fallen birch tree. Again, the same one from earlier, but now it was upright, standing tall like it had never fallen. And that's when Lily heard a sound. They weren't footsteps, and it wasn't an animal. It was their own voices, echoing, repeating something they said earlier on the hike. It was in the same tone, the same words, but coming from somewhere else in the woods. They turned around and ran as fast as they could back down the trail. They didn't talk. They were just focused on getting out of there. They just moved. And here's the weird part. They reached their car, they said, in less than 4 minutes, on a trail that supposedly takes people at least an hour. When they got home, the sun was still high, but their phones showed that 5 hours had passed. Their GPS app showed nothing but a straight, unmoving line, almost like they never left the parking lot. They started researching that area, and that's when they found old stories, real archive pieces from local historical societies. Back in the 1800s, families reported hunters returning from that ridge hours late, but claimed they'd only walked a few minutes. Others said that ridge borrowed time from travelers or returned them unfinished. One old story from 1912 says the ridge is a fold, a place where mountains bend time almost like a portal. And the most consistent detail? People who experience a shift always mention a fallen birch tree that keeps appearing. Exactly what Aaron and Lily saw. To this day, they won't say they encountered anything supernatural. They avoid using the word haunted. But they both agree on one thing. The trail wasn't looping. Time was.